Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'll join in song and sing Hine Ma Tov. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Temple Sinai of Glendale. It's so great to see you all. I'm Rabbi Rick Schechter, and this is Cantor Allison Weiss. And it's so wonderful for all of us to be together this fine spring morning here in California. As the psalmist wrote and as Cantor Allison sang, how good, how pleasant it is for all of us to be together in unity. So great to be together as family. So great to be together as friends and be together as a community to celebrate Shabbat, the Jewish day of rest and renewal, a day when we can all slow down, just slow down a little bit to thank God for all the goodness and all the blessings in our lives. This Shabbat is so very special because on this Shabbat we celebrate Abby Weiss becoming a bat mitzvah. A bat mitzvah. Abby is literally a daughter of the commandment, a daughter of the commandment. So today, Abby is recognized in our eyes and in the eyes of the entire Jewish world as having come of age in our tradition, and she is ready, she is willing, she is able to keep the teachings and the practices of Judaism. So today, Abby demonstrates her new status as a bat mitzvah, as a daughter of the commandment, by leading us in prayer and worship. And Abby and we invite you to please join in. Please join in the Hebrew, if you know the Hebrew. Please join in the English when Abby or I invite you to join in the English. Please sing along. Please clap along. If you don't know the songs, please hum along, and we'll all celebrate together this very joyful, special day. Abby's also going to demonstrate her status as a bat mitzvah, as a daughter of the commandment, by chanting from the Torah, from the 5 books of Moses. She's also going to chant her Haftarah portion from the prophetical books of the Jewish Bible. And Abby is going to share with us today very thoughtful, very wise teachings of hers based upon this week's Torah portion. So we want to wish a heartfelt Mazel Tov to Abby and to Sarah and to Rick and to the entire family. My goodness, we have family and friends from all over with us today. We've got family and friends from throughout the Los Angeles area and from Stockton, California. Where are folks from Stockton? There they are. All right, welcome, welcome. We have folks from Seattle, Washington. Where's Seattle? Okay, right behind. Welcome from Seattle. From Chicago, Illinois. Where's Chicago? Okay, right over here we got Chicago. From Madison, Wisconsin. There's Madison. From Louisville, Kentucky. All right, we got the Louisville contingent. From Philadelphia. There's Philly. Oh, you all sort of congregated here in the front. Very nice. We have family with us today from Budapest, Hungary. Where is Budapest? Oh my goodness, welcome. How do you say hello in Hungarian? Hello, I love it. That makes it easy. Hello, welcome. Welcome to you. And with us on live stream today, we have nurses at Huntington Hospital viewing on the maternity floor. So welcome to our nurses. Also on live stream today, we have folks in Stockton, and in Seattle, in Madison, and in Washington, D.C. We have family and friends with us today, even as far as La Cañada, California. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully everybody has a copy of the Blue Prayer Book that we're going to be using this morning. This is a Hebrew opening book, so it opens and reads from right to left instead of left to right. And so hopefully everybody has one of those. If you don't, we have some as you enter the sanctuary. We'd like to invite everyone in the sanctuary now to please silence your cell phones. Let's all silence or turn off our cell phones. Yes, no texting during the service. Abby, you're doing great. We have another way to show our love and appreciation to Abby throughout the service. It's a modified form of applause. So instead of going like this, we're going to go like this. Yes? Oh, very nice. Yeah, we like to call this Sacred Pac-Man. Sacred Pac-Man, for those of you who know Pac-Man. Or what we say, but last night it was called Shabbat Magic. So we can also call it Shabbat Magic. I like that. So we'll have plenty of opportunities to do that throughout the service today. And just a reminder, there's no photography during the service. Got a wonderful photographer taking pictures for all of us in the back. So let us begin. Let's begin. We turn to page 185. Page 185 in our prayer book. All right. Is it a little warm in here? A little bit? No, you're good? Okay, maybe just warm up here. Got like 5 layers going here. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to turn on the air. If it gets too cold, just let us know. We're on page 185, everybody, and in loving community, in this loving community of family and friends, this morning we celebrate Abby. We celebrate Abby. We enter this sacred space to voice the longings of our hearts in prayer. We devote ourselves this morning to psalm and to song, to study and to prayer. May our hearts be lifted, may our thoughts be deepened, and may our souls, like the eagle, soar. Well, in that spirit, we are so very honored to call upon Sarah Solomon and Rick Weiss, Abby's parents, to present Abby with her talit, her Jewish prayer shawl. Okay, so we got this here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef batzitzit.
Amen. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Rick. Well, let's turn now to page 192. Page 192. So it's traditional upon entering a Jewish sanctuary in the morning to recite these words, to sing these words. They come from the Torah, from the book of Numbers. Ma tovu, how lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. This is our spiritual dwelling place. We invite you to please join us in singing Ma Tovu if you know it.
Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Va'ani berov chastecha avo אשתחווה אל היכל קודשך ביראתך. Everybody, מה טובו. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל.
We now turn to page 198. Page 198 in our prayer book, as we are so honored to have Abby Weiss, our bat mitzvah, lead us in prayers, beginning by thanking God for the miracles of daily life. Abby's going to chant the Hebrew, and we're going to respond in the English, beginning on the top of page 198.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lesek vivina, lehavchin ben yom uvein laila.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokev kifufim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamekin mitzadei gaver.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who clothes the naked.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten laya'ef koach.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir she'ena me'enai, utnuma me'afapai.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me in the image of God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat churin.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me free.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me a Jew.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who girds Israel with strength.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor.
We continue with the Hatzi Kaddish on page 224.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'al Ma divrach irute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv, v'imeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, Layala mulal me'al maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Vayishtabach, Vayitbar, Vayitramam, Vayitnaseh, Vayithadar, Vayitalev, Vayitalal, Shemei dekudesha brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata da mihiran be'alma ve'imeru amen.
We now turn to page 226. Please rise for our call to worship.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Please turn to page 228 for the Yotzer Or prayer, thanking God for the wonder of creation. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer Or uvarei choshech, Osei shalom uvarei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz viladarim alecha berachamim, Utuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid, Maseh v'reshit, Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, Ku'olam b'chokhmah asita, Mala ha'aretz kinyanecha, Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, Al shavach mechaseh yadecha, Ve'al me'orei or she'asita, Yifar ruach chasela, or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkeh kulanu mehera le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer hamorot. We turn to page 231. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blinded we saw, that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Please join me in the Shema, beginning on page 232.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. Please join me in chanting the Ve'ahavta on page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadevarim ha'elech asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam livanecha, vidibarta bam, beshivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshokbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yedecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uktavtam, Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai ve'item kedoshim lelohehem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue on page 238. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred ways. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. We now turn to page 240.
So now is when I start to enlist you all for some ruach, some spirit. It's Saturday morning, it's Shabbat, we're celebrating Abby, we're doing all the good stuff. And Mi Chamocha is a song of celebration, a song of freedom. So your job is to sing and to help to feed her energy, which I'm sure that, would be greatly appreciated. So top of page 240. Mi Chamocha Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefele. You get one more chance. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Kodesh
We now come to the heart of Jewish worship, the Amidah, on pages 242 through 248. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tifta ufia tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magid, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah, Rav le'hoshia, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berafeh holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Mekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviyecha, V'kara zeh el zeh ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsevaot, Melo kol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai, Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Yashmienu, v'hu Yashmienu, v'rachamav le'enei kol chai, ani l'chechem, imlo Adonai le'olam, Elai Zion, Ledor v'ador, Hallelujah. Ledor v'ador nagigad lecha, v'lenetzach netzachim kedushatcha naqdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, le'olam ha'el. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el kadosh.
Please be seated. We continue with the singing of Vishamru on page 250.
I'm going to get a little assistance on singing Vishamru today. This is George
Thank
Lowe,
you.
who you'll meet later on, one of our wonderful teachers in the religious school. So I'll give you my spiel. Hopefully my voice will keep up. This is their second chance to really show the Ruach. So Vishamri starts, we always start with a big Ve, so let's all practice that. Ve. I forgot to tell you, he's a complete character. So George was our Haman in the Purim spiel, so that tells you something. No, but we love you. So your job is to clap. And there's one word, et. You can throw your hands up in the air. You can stand up if you want. Just have ruach and fun, and I'm hoping my voice will stick with us. I can't hear you. Oh, we're just going to start. We're going to go. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam b'ritolam. Once again, Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam b'ritolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam b'ritolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam b'ritolam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Now this is the last time. Let's have a big ve. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam b'ritolam. One last time. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael, everyone, et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam b'ritolam.
Please turn to page 252. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh ha-Shabbat. I'm honored to call upon my Auntie Andrea and my Uncle Dan and my Auntie Beth and Uncle Mike to lead us in prayers, beginning on page 255.
Do we read together?
Okay. Yeah, I think you all have this one right. Yeah. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and joy.
We now pray responsively on page 257. This prayer has a Hebrew response, Modim Anachnu Lach, which means, we thank you, God.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim Anachnu Lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim Anachnu Lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, for oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim Anachnu Lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim Anachnu Lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim Anachnu Lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha lecha ne'eh ha'ador.
We now take a moment for personal and silent prayer.
Oh, say shalom bimramav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. Oh, say shalom bimramav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Hugo. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Well, we now come to our Torah service. You can find the prayers and the blessings for the Torah service beginning on page 362. Page 362.
Ein kamocha barachamim Adonai, ve'ein kemaasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiva b'rtzoncha et Zion tivnei Yerushalayim tivnei Yerushalayim.
All right. You guys know that. Well, we're going to continue now in our Torah service to open the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark. We are delighted to call upon Leo and Hugo Weiss, Abby's cousins, to pass the Torah through the generations. We are so very honored to call upon Peter Solomon and Lori and Michael Weiss, Abby's grandparents, Sarah Solomon and Rick Weiss, Abby's parents, and of course, Abby Weiss, our bat mitzvah. After our processional with the Torah, we are honored to help us undress the Torah scroll, Jack and Alex Solomon, Abby's cousins. We now invite the entire congregation to please rise before the open ark.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. O Yisrael, Yerushalayim.
Well, Abby, you are leading us so wonderfully today in prayer and in worship. You know, you've been leading us in prayer, some of which are thousands of years old. You're getting ready to do something now that Jewish people have also been doing for millennia, for thousands of years, reading, chanting from the Torah, from the 5 books of Moses, the books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. As you know, we're not going to ask you to read all those books today. Abby's got a very interesting portion right in the center, right in the book of Leviticus. She's going to tell us about it in just a moment. Abby, in becoming a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandment, you are now taking your place among the Jewish people in what we'd like to call the Shashelet HaKabbalah, the chain of Jewish tradition. You are part of this chain now, the Shashelet HaKabbalah, this loving chain of Jewish tradition that extends thousands of years into our past. It will extend thousands of years into our future, I am confident, because of you as the newest and the strongest link in this loving chain of Jewish tradition. In this Torah, Abby, the embodiment of Jewish wisdom and Jewish teaching, Jewish history, Jewish values, this Torah comes to you, Lador Vador, from generation to generation with the love and the support of your family. Abby, this Torah comes to you with the love and the support of your grandparents. All of their love, all of their support. And Abby, at this time, we're also thinking of your grandma Susan of blessed memory, who, as we know, is not with us here today in body, but she's very much with us today in spirit. So proud of you. This Torah comes to you with all of her love and support as well. But of course, it comes with the love, the guidance, the support of your parents. It comes from your mom with all of her love, all of her support. It comes from your dad with all of his love and guidance. And now finally rests in your arms, Abby.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagedula V'Hagevura V'Hatiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hachod Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha Ve'amid Na'aseh Lechol Erosh Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed Al HaTorah Ve'al Ha'avodah Ve'al Gemilut Chasadim Al HaTorah Ve'al Ha'avodah Ve'al Gemilut Chasadim Al Shlosha Devarim. Everybody join along. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Tetzei Torah, Udavar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo, Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch Shenatan Torah Mitzion, Tetzei Torah, Udavar Adonai miYerushalayim. Ki Mitzion, Tetzei Torah, Udavar Adonai miYerushalayim. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Repeat after me. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Let's try one more time. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu.
Please be seated, everybody. Okay, and then you get to slide this right underneath. It should slide right underneath so that you can be in front of the mic. Is that good? Okay, whenever you're ready.
This week's Torah portion comes from the book of Leviticus. In it, priests deal with people with leprosy, also known as lepers, and deem them ritually impure or pure, depending on if they had the disease. It talks about the process of going from impurity to purity. You can find the Torah portion in the blue Torah commentary on page 737 and in the green Women's Torah commentary on page 644 to 645, beginning at verse 9.
Thank you, Abby. So, as Abby said, you can find it in the blue Torah commentary. If you're in the front rows, it's right underneath your seat. Right underneath your seat, the blue commentary, beginning on page 737. 737 in the blue commentary. And if you have a green Women's Torah commentary, that's on page 644. As Abby said, beginning on page 644, green, 737 blue. Abby's going to begin chanting at verse 9 of chapter 13. So as you're finding your place in the Torah commentaries, we want to mention that it is an honor in Judaism to be called to the Torah, as Abby is, to chant Torah. It's also an honor to be called to the Torah to say blessings before and after each chanting, blessings of thanking God for the gift and the wisdom of Torah. That honor is called an aliyah. Aliyah literally means going up. We have 3 aliyot this morning. For our first aliyah, we are so very honored to call upon Peter Solomon and Michael and Lori Weiss, Abby's grandparents.
Ta'amod ben Sion Michael Velea Le'aliyah Rishon.
Baruch et Adonai HaBarach, Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Negat zara'at ki tieh ba'adam, vehuva el hakohen, v'ra'a hakohen, v'hinei seit levana ba'or, v'hi havcha se'ar lavan, umichiat basar chai baseit. Tzara'at nosenet hi ba'or basaro, v'timeo hakohen lo yaskirenu ki tamehu.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olanu v'nataseinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Would you like to stay up a little bit for the next reading? Would you like to stand right next to the camera?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
For our second Aliyah this morning, we are so very honored to call upon Rick Weiss and Sarah Solomon, Abby's parents.
Ta'amod Gavriel Carmel ben Michal Velea Sarah bat Ben Sion Verut La'aliyah Sheni.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach,
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'im paroach tifrach hatzarat, ba'or v'kista hatzarat. Et ko'or hanega merosho ve'ad raglav, l'chol marei einei hakohen. V'ra'a hakohen, v'hinei kista hatzarat, et kol b'saro, v'tihar et hanaga, kulo hafach lavan tahor hu. Uvyom heraot bo, basar chayit ma.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natav b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
For our third and final Aliyah this morning, we are so very honored to officially call as Bat Mitzvah Abby Weiss.
Ya'amod Avigal bat Gabriel Carmel Basara Laba Mitzvah. Let's all welcome with Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Heveinu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
V'ra'ah hakohen et habasar hachai v'tim'o habasar hachai tamehu tzarat hu. O ki yashuv habasar hachai v'nehepach lalavan uva el hakohen. V'ra'ahu hakohen v'hinei nehepach hanega lalavan v'tihar hakohen et hanega tahur hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. This is one of those moments. Absolutely. Yes. Major moment in becoming a bat mitzvah. We like to call this a Siman Tov and Mazel Tov moment. It is good sign and good fortune that we are all together celebrating this very special moment in the life of Abby and her family and in all of us. Please join us in singing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov.
This is a clapping, singing, all that good stuff moment. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu.
With the Torah before us, it's a Jewish custom to say special prayers. In this case, prayers of healing for people we know who are sick or injured, people who are in need of a healing of body and spirit. We invite you to please join us in this Misha Barak prayer of healing if you know it. It's in the middle of page 371 in our prayer books, middle of 371.
Sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
At this time, we invite you to offer the name or names of people you know who are in need of healing. And we'll go around the sanctuary, and please just raise your hand and call out their name. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, please. Yes. Sharon Maury. Thank you. Carolyn. Yes. Please. Yes. Yeah, Julie. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Dan Krug.
David Peterson and Lord Francis.
Our prayer of healing is for them, and it's also for all the folks listed on the inside of our Shabbat leaflet, on the Misha Berach page. We now pray in our hearts for all of these temple members who are in need of healing, all of these family members in need of healing, and all of these friends and coworkers who are in need of healing, as we now continue our Misha Berach prayer of healing together.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Li'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We pray they are all healed. Well, Abby chanted the Torah, as we all heard so fabulously. She is getting ready, right? She is getting ready to chant the Haftarah portion from the prophetical books of the Jewish Bible. But before she does so, Abby would like to show you all something that she made especially for this day. So Abby, why don't we head on down? I'm going to get the microphones for us. And let's see, I'll give you this one. Yeah?
Yep.
Is it on?
Yep.
All right. Let's go down where everybody can see us. Let's see. Yeah, why don't you go up here to the third step on this side. Turn this over this way so everybody can see what we are looking at here. So, this is what we use to bind the Torah scroll. It's called a wimple. A wimple is a Yiddish word based on the German word for cloth, and we ask each of our Bat Bar B'nai Mitzvah students to design their very own wimple to bind the Torah during their ceremony, and that's exactly what Abby did. And every wimple has the Jewish name right in the middle, nice and big, the Hebrew name, and then we invite the students to draw some images of things from Judaism or from their own life that are very important to them. And as you can see, Abby has covered her wimple with beautiful drawings and illustrations. So let's see, why don't we go from right to left here, Hebrew. So Abby, what are we looking at right over here?
Well, that's the camp that I go to, and I've made some really amazing friends there, so I decided to put that on my wimple.
All right, nice. So this is a camp in Wisconsin, you were telling me?
Uh-huh.
Very nice. Is it near a lake?
Yes.
All right, yeah, a lot of lakes in Wisconsin. Oh, well, that must be a lot of fun. I was telling you, I also went to camp in Wisconsin, so it's a great place to go to camp. Now, underneath your Hebrew name, tell us what we're looking at there.
Well, I drew a sun because my day of creation was when God created light, so I drew a sun to symbolize the light that was created on my birthday.
Very nice. So from the book of Genesis, where it talks about, and God said, let there be light, the first thing that God made. There we go. Very nice. And then to the left of the sun, underneath your name, what are we looking at there? It's hard to see. Maybe up front you can see it, but Abby will describe it for us.
It's a Seder plate because my birthday usually falls around Passover, so.
Yeah, very nice. So you've got a Passover plate there to represent Passover. Fantastic. And speaking of your birthday, what is above your what's above your Hebrew name there? Hopefully everybody can see it at the top. You've got two images that I think are related.
It's my zodiac sign and a ram, I think.
Okay, very nice. And by the way, it's customary on a wimple to put one's birth sign. There's a long history of astrology within Judaism, so that it's usually on the wimple. So you've got your birth sign there, Aries. You've got the ram. I noticed the ram. I was looking up closely. The ram sort of has a smile on his face. I don't know if you could see that, but the ram is sort of looking up with a smile on his or her face. I thought that was great. So then, underneath your, so let's talk a little bit about your name. Avigail, could you tell everybody what that means?
Well, Avigail means father's joy.
Father's joy, very nice. And speaking of fathers, then underneath your dad's Hebrew name, Gabriel Carmel,
I've got two hands, a large set of hands and a smaller one to symbolize father's joy.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And we're going to talk about mom, too. So speaking of mom, so mom's name, Sarah, right there. Mm-hmm. And it looks like you've colored that in very beautifully. Let's see. Is there a story to that?
Yeah, well, my mom's name means princess, so I made that letter look like a crown.
Wow, look at that. Very nice. So you made the shin, the sin, and Sarah look like a crown for princess. Beautiful. And then underneath your mom's name, right there at the bottom, what are we looking at there?
It's a mountain with skiers on it because I love to go skiing in the winter.
Very nice, nice. You were telling me you like to ski at a particular place or city?
I ski up at Tahoe.
Tahoe, very nice. We have any other Tahoe skiers? Yes? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Looks like a popular destination for skiing. And then above the mountain, above the people skiing down the mountain, I love how you got people skiing down the mountain. What are we looking at there right next to your hand?
I drew a softball because it's my favorite sport, and I love to play it.
All right, softball. So you were telling me that you play a number of different positions.
Uh-huh.
Center field?
Yes.
Pitch?
Yes.
Nice. Let me see if I can get the last one. First base?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you play all those positions. Very nice. And last but not least on your wimple, and thank you for sharing all this, Abby. Last but not least, your parents have shared a blessing for you, and sometimes it's customary to put a parental blessing on this. So I'm honored to read this on behalf of Sarah and Rick. It says, "May Abby grow up to live a life of happiness, good health, and contentment." So a beautiful blessing that I think we all share. That we all share for you as well. So we are honored to wrap the Torah in this beautiful wimple. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, sure. Okay, and we're going to wrap the Torah in it right now, but before we do that, it is a Jewish tradition, to raise the Torah high for all to see the words that Abby chanted so beautifully. To lift the Torah, we are honored to call upon Abby's dad, Rick, and to dress the Torah, we are honored to again call upon Alex and Jack Solomon, Abby's cousins. And as they come up, and as Rick is getting ready to lift the Torah, it's a tradition for everybody to stand as the Torah is raised. So please rise, everybody.
Vezot HaTorah asher sa Moshe livnei
seated, everybody.
This week's Haftarah portion comes from the book of 2 Kings. In it, a man comes to the prophet Elijah to be healed of a skin disease similar to those mentioned in the Torah portion. You can find the Haftarah portion on page 747 in your blue Torah commentary, starting at the top of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher Bahar binviim tovim veratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv Moshe avdo uv Yisrael amo uvin v'ei ha'emet v'tzedek ve'ishba mi ba'al shalisha v'yaveh le'ish ha'elohim lechem bikurim esrim lechem seurim v'karmel b'tziklono v'yomer ten la'am v'yochelu v'yomer misharito ma etain zeh lifnei mea ish v'yomer ten la'am v'yochelu ki cho amar Adonai echol v'hoter v'yitein lifneihem v'yochlu v'yotiru ki dvar Adonai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol ha'dorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lichavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarkim otach yibarach shimcha b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Yes, another one of those moments. Thank you, Abby. Thank you. Well, we are now getting ready to return the Torah to the Ark. We turn back to page 374. I should say we should turn to page 374. And to help us return the Torah, we are so honored to again call upon Leo and Hugo Weiss, Abby's cousins. We're on page 374, everybody, and we are going to stand together once again as the Torah is returned to the Ark.
Ve
Please be seated, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Years ago, when I thought about becoming a bat mitzvah, the first 4 words that came to my mind were "let the party begin." You've probably recognized, thus far into my service, that while this is a celebration of sorts, the word party does not really explain what is happening. A bat mitzvah ceremony is a Jewish ritual that establishes an individual as an adult member of the Jewish community. And as I've now attended Hebrew and Sunday school for the last many years, with a more intense focus on my bat mitzvah training beginning about 6 months ago, my understanding of this day and its significance has changed. 4 different words now come to mind: dedication, learning, responsibility, and identity. The Torah portion you just heard me chant is about skin disease. Specifically, my Torah portion references leprosy, though it likely refers to both leprosy and other skin diseases or conditions. My Torah portion states that in biblical times, the priests evaluated individuals with leprosy, deeming them ritually impure until their symptoms decreased or until they could safely be returned to their previous living situation as pure. Transition from impurity to purity required a quarantine. This quarantine forced affected individuals to live outside of the city, tear their clothes for purposes of identification, and cover their mouths to avoid spreading of the disease. Even after symptoms improved, an affected individual was required to shave, bathe, wash clothes, and wait 7 more days to rejoin their community. Quarantine. I imagine that word got your attention. Quarantine is a word that we have become very familiar with over the last 3 years. Since COVID-19 arrived, quarantine has again become quite relevant. Face masks, isolation, worry, I could go on and on. COVID-19, like leprosy or skin conditions of old, has had a significant impact on our lives, both physical and mental. When COVID was surging, many of us were extremely isolated from one another. For almost a full year, I wasn't able to go to school in person. Instead, I stayed home and did school virtually from a computer. I couldn't get together to play with my friends. All of my extracurricular activities got canceled, and I spent much of my time alone with my family and my dog, Gertie. Sound depressing? It was at times. Luckily, I was able to find ways to stay busy, connected, and content. I learned how to begin playing piano using an app on an iPad. I took sewing lessons and made an apron, tote bag, dress, and loads of scrunchies. I took part in a Zoom cooking class called Thursday Supper Club and made meals for my family. I took an online jump roping class and learned how to do a multitude of fancy tricks I didn't even know were possible. I baked, and well enough to keep my dad round. I made all kinds of different crafts, including a puppet named Moose, who I practiced ventriloquism with. I've since gotten rid of Moose, so I can't really demonstrate my skills, but believe me when I say, I wasn't very good at it. Unfortunately, many kids really struggled through this time. Childhood depression and anxiety doubled, and with more depression and anxiety came an increased risk for suicidal thinking. It definitely made me think about why my experiences during COVID was not as bad as many of my peers. Interestingly, my parents, one a pediatrician and the other a psychologist, recognized the importance of healthy life choices during these difficult times. They stayed positive, checked in with me often, and encouraged me to stay active. Of course, I had to listen to their suggestions and follow through with action. I had lots of other resources as well. Outside of having the greatest parents to walk the face of the earth, I also had many other loving family members, the temple and religious school, great teachers in one of the best public school systems in California, friends who made me laugh on FaceTime, my imagination and creativity, and extremely easy access to the basic necessities we often take for granted: food, shelter, and clothing. My well-being was maintained by the things that really matter in life. Not the newest designer shirt, not the latest game or toy, not even a Louisville Slugger Meta Composite softball bat. The Torah teaches that it's not good for a person to be alone. It's true, whether or not we're under quarantine. The ancient Jewish priests who looked after people with skin diseases were with them every step of the way, inside and outside of the city, to help them heal and be reintegrated into their community and home. They were there to be a supportive resource to people in need. For my mitzvah project, my focus is on teens who lack the resources I had during COVID-19, and that includes the basics. The organization My Friend's Place serves homeless, at-risk youths in the Hollywood area. I will be offering my time to put together hundreds of snack bags for the kids they help, putting together each personalized bag with kindness, consideration, and the respect that they deserve. I hope I can offer them a little brightness, a little love, and the assurance that somebody they don't even know cares. My Friend's Place is especially meaningful as my dad worked as a psychology intern there all the way back in 2006. I look forward to making several trips to Hollywood with him so that I can personally drop off what I've prepared. I would now like to thank a number of people who helped me reach this important moment in my life: Dr. Deborah, Rabbi Rick, and Cantor Allison. I'm extremely grateful for your support and preparation for all that went into this service. It would not have been possible without you. Aunties Andrea and Beth, and Uncles Dan and Mike, thank you for helping me develop my adventurous spirit. Whether it's risking my personal safety hiking through a monsoon in Hawaii, or going to swim with manta rays while my cousin Leo vomits off the back of the boat, experiences with you are always filled with love and laughter, and sometimes tears. Cousins Leo, Jack, and Alex, you are wonderful role models for me, and I'm amazed at all that you've accomplished. Hugo, it's hard for me to express what an important part of my life you are. You are my cousin, but it feels more like you are my brother. Maybe I should just call you my brusin. Thank you, Nana, Papa, and Grandpa, for always being invested in what I'm doing at home. Whenever I want to talk about school or activities, you guys are the first I call. I'm also very grateful to have had Grandma Sue in my life. While she hasn't been with me since 2019, she's forever in my heart. I would also like to thank all my friends for filling my life with joy every single day. You are the only people that can make me roll on the floor crying with laughter. I want to give a shout out to Rachel Feller and Simone Posen, two very special camp friends. Rachel and Simone hear all about the drama in my life in Los Angeles and deal with all my goofiness without a hint of judgment. Last but not least, I would like to thank my mom and my dad. Since day one, you guys have been my biggest fans. Although sometimes I get irritated by the things that you do, such as chewing or swallowing loudly, just know that I will always love you, no matter what. Finally, I would like to thank everybody for being here in celebration and recognition of this special day for me. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, Abby, you thanked all of us. We want to thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing day. We know that your parents would like to share what's in their heart right now. Sarah, Rick, we'd be honored to have you come up and
Abby, a little over 13 years ago, I was beside myself with anxiety as you sat inside of your mom's belly yet to be born. Mom's blood pressure was not exactly stable, and each day I would pray for both you and her to make it to the day of your birth in good health. If that could just happen, I thought, my first worries of being a father would vanish, and I would surely coast through the first many months of your life. Well, on April 4th, 2010, you arrived. I remember counting your toes, 10. Then your fingers, 10. I breathed a sigh of relief. And while I can't say Mommy or I coasted through those first several months, you brought a type of joy and love into our lives that we have never experienced before.
Minus spitting up what we were convinced was 95% of what you'd just eaten, you were a terrific baby. And so what after work? If after work Daddy came home to find me in tears, walking you around the block for hours because it was the only way you'd nap. The reflux and fussiness came and went pretty quickly, actually. Everything slowed down for us as a family. Your grandparents came in regularly to dote on you and to help us, and Stacy was quite the stabilizing force. Life was grand, and the idea of you growing up didn't truly occur to us as something that was realistic.
When you were just 2 years old, I tried to imagine you going off to kindergarten, but it seemed so far off in the future. I remember open house when you were a first grader at Palm Crest. I saw how big the sixth graders were and believed that it would be an eternity before that would be you. Shortly after you started religious school in third grade, I overheard somebody here at Temple Sinai mention extremely preliminary bar bat mitzvah talk for your class. Fools, I thought to myself. She won't be 13 for at least another 40 years. Needless to say, ages 10, 11, and 12 race by, way faster than we're comfortable with. And you stand in front of us today, a new teenager, just months away from becoming an 8th grader. And while we may be amazed at how quickly this is all happening, what we're most in awe about is the person that you've turned into.
You are kind, compassionate. Now this is when Mom cries. You are kind, compassionate, brave, smart, athletic, and funny. More important, though, is who you are in relation to others. You are a model daughter, granddaughter, cousin, niece, friend, student, and teammate. We are so very proud of all that you are and all that you put into this day. We love you more than you will ever know, and we can't wait to be a part of whatever's next. Mazel tov.
Oh, Sarah, Rick, thank you so much. Thank you so much for those heartfelt, those touching words. And Abby, I just wanted to share a few thoughts as well. I want to begin by, again, thanking you. Thank you for this wonderful experience that we all shared in today. You created an inspiring day of prayer and learning and celebration. And I just want you to take a moment just to look around the room now as you've completed most of the teaching and leading that you're doing today. So now you get to breathe a sigh of relief, and you get to enjoy all your family and your friends, and you get to enjoy your amazing accomplishments today. We are all so moved by what you did here today, Abby, and what you taught us. And we know that when you're not busy studying Hebrew and Judaism, or excelling at your schoolwork, or sewing scrunchies, or baking for your family, or creating all sorts of arts and crafts, or snow skiing, or doing ventriloquism with moose, we know how much you love playing softball. So much so that you drew it on your wimple and you shared it with us today. And I remember you told me a while back how much you enjoy the sport. So you got me thinking, Abby, You got me thinking about how playing softball is a lot like being a bat mitzvah and living a Jewish life. How so, one might be wondering? Well, Abby, you know better than most of us that to be good at softball, to be really good, to get good at any athletic activity, it takes practice, practice, and more practice. Well, the same is certainly true of becoming a bat mitzvah. Abby, you practiced reading Hebrew. You practiced chanting your Torah and your Haftarah portions with those special melodies and those musical notes that she sang so beautifully called tropes. And with practice, you learned different sets of melodies, Torah and Haftarah being in a different key. I don't know much about music, but was that a different key? Yes? Okay, all right. So you learn different melodies of the notes with practice. And just so everybody knows, and just so everybody realizes, you did it all from the Torah today with no vowel signs, no trope marks in the Torah scroll. That is not easy to do, not at all. And you practiced and practiced your prayers, going above and beyond. Abby, you went above and beyond with your prayers, so much so that you learned and you mastered the Chatzi Kaddish that you chanted so beautifully with your dad today. You learned and you mastered the full Kaddish in Aramaic. And you also learned and mastered the entire 16-line Kiddush blessing over grape juice, which you led us in solo during last night's Zoom service. If you want to see it, go on our YouTube channel, and you can hear her chanting that Kiddush blessing last night. Not to mention, speaking of practice, all the time that you spent writing, practicing your deep, your wise teachings about this week's Torah portion that you shared with us, that you touched us with, how to be resilient even during a modern-day quarantine. You did all of this superbly, Abby. So like having the skills of an accomplished softball player, now as a bat mitzvah, with the skills that you have acquired through your hard work, through your practice, you can now go anywhere in the world, Abby, anywhere in the world where there's a synagogue or a temple, and you can now participate in the service. Even more than that, you can now lead many parts of the service. Abby, you can travel to Budapest, Hungary, where some of your family members live, and while there in the Hungarian capital, you can visit the famous Dohan Street Synagogue. Did I pronounce that right? Yeah. I did? Yeah. I've been practicing the whole week. Really? You're not kidding me? How would you pronounce it? Dohan? Dohan. Dohan Street Synagogue. Also called the Great Synagogue because it's the largest one in Europe. You can now take part in the services there with your family members. The next time you go to Costa Rica on spring break, Abby, after a Friday morning of surfing, you could head over to celebrate Shabbat in one of the synagogues there, and you could lead much of that service. And even when you snow ski in Tahoe with your family, whenever you want to take a break from the slopes, you could drive over to Temple Bat Yam in South Lake Tahoe. I looked them up. Their reform, you can now pray fluently and lead their services in Tahoe. Anywhere you go, Abby, any continent on earth, except maybe Antarctica, they may not have a synagogue there, but within any of the other 6 continents, if you were to visit a synagogue, a temple, you could hop up on their bima and you could lead the service. Of course, you'll want to ask them first before you do that, but that is the power of what you've acquired in becoming a bat mitzvah. To live a Jewish life, it's very much a practice. And like most valuable things in life that you were talking about, like most valuable things in life, it benefits from regular practice. Abby, may you continue to learn and practice Judaism throughout your life. May it always enrich you with joy and with meaning. And like softball, Abby, Judaism itself is very much a team sport. It's been a team sport for thousands of years. As in softball, a person really can't do Judaism well all by themselves. You know, traditionally in Judaism, there are certain prayers we can't recite unless there are 10 people in the room. We call it a minyan, 10 people, sort of like 9 softball players on the field per team. Is it still 9, or is it 10 softball players? 9? All right, just like that. Judaism's just like that. Always takes place with the group, with the community. Imagine the holiday of Passover that we just celebrated that you drew on your wimple. Imagine that joyful Jewish holiday of Passover without other people. There's nobody there with you to celebrate. No family, no friends. All alone with a box of matzah. Wouldn't be much of a Passover. This wouldn't be much of a Shabbat service either, or a celebration of you becoming a bat mitzvah, without all these wonderful people surrounding you, all of your family and friends and community that are here today. Judaism is really only lived and practiced in community with other people, just like softball. Abby, may you continue to be an active part of the Jewish community, an active part of our temple community, and may you continue to participate on the team. So there's one final, very important way that being Jewish is a lot like playing softball that I want to share with you. Perhaps it's the most important. In sports and in religious and spiritual life, we're serving something bigger than ourselves. It's about something bigger than us. When you're on a field in a game, you're not just playing for yourself, right? You're playing for your team that you're a part of. The win isn't just for you. The victory goes to everybody that's a part of it. It transcends, it goes beyond any one individual, no matter how much of a superstar athlete they may be. Well, so too in Judaism, and in Christianity, and in Islam, and in Hinduism, and in other religions. Religious and spiritual people are serving something bigger, like God, their communities, the larger world itself. In Judaism, everyone is asked to help make this world a better place. If people are hungry, we can help feed them. If someone is hurting, we can try to heal them, as your parents do. If people are in need, we can help them, just as you're doing, Abby, in your extremely helpful mitzvah project with My Friend's Place, helping the youth there that are homeless. You're serving them. You're serving something bigger. And Abby, with your mitzvah project, with all the sacrifices for others that you make in your life, and all the ways that you give to others throughout your life, you're helping to make our world a better place. You are such a kind, you are such a thoughtful and dedicated, respectful, considerate, creative, and wise young woman. That is what it means to be a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandment. And that's who you are, Abby. That is who you are. May you continue to be a great blessing to the world and a great blessing to all of us. Mazel tov. Mazel tov to you. Mazel tov to your wonderful family. Mazel tov to you all. Abby, at this time, Cantor Allison and I would be honored to share with you the most precious blessing of the Jewish people, God's blessing found in the Torah. We invite you to join us at the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark, and we invite the community to please stand before the open ark.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Abby, may God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'kunecha.
May the light of God's love, the light of God's wisdom, shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
Abby, may God always be with you and with your wonderful family. Give you all the most precious blessing of all, the blessing of shalom, its peace, its wholeness, it is fulfillment in every way. Together, let's all say, Amen. And please be seated, everybody. Well, Abby, leaders of our temple community would like to make a special presentation to you now in honor of your becoming bat mitzvah. I'm honored to begin by calling upon Vice President here at Temple Sinai, Mr. Mike Devine.
Abby, you did a wonderful job today. You should be proud of your accomplishments, and I'm sure your parents are as well. On behalf of this Temple Sinai board, I'm honored to give you a few gifts today. The first is a certificate indicating that you achieved your bat mitzvah today. You led us in prayer, you chanted from our sacred texts. Next is a certificate from the National Federation of Temple Youth that can be used toward a trip to Israel in your high school years. Enjoy those, that'll be fun. And lastly, I want to give you your own copy of the Torah, the Women's Commentary of the Torah. This is a book that's written solely by women, exclusively by women, strong, dedicated women, much like yourself as you continue your path. So here you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, we can leave it right there. We're going to have a collection going, so we'll all keep it all there. Well, Abby, at this time, I'm honored to call upon representing our sisterhood and brotherhood here at the temple, Jennifer Mervis and George Lowe.
Abby, you did an amazing job today. Mazel tov to you and your family. On behalf of Sisterhood at Temple Sinai, it is my privilege to present you with this mezuzah. Hanging it on the doorpost of your bedroom can always remind you of your connection to Judaism. And wherever life takes you, we hope that you will bring it with you so that you will always feel God's presence on your journey, and also the warmth of knowing that Temple Sinai will always be your home. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, Abby. You've done a wonderful job and made everyone very proud. It is my honor to present you on behalf of Brotherhood with this Kiddush cup. May it always overflow with sweet grape juice and one day wine. And whenever you use it, may you be reminded of your home here at Temple Sinai in this day.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you again, Mike. All right, very nice, Abby. Well, you've been working hard today, and we're going to be celebrating in the social hall in just a moment. Before we do so, we got a few closing prayers to do. So what do you think? You want to take a breather, and Cantor and I will finish out the service? Okay, all right, a well-deserved breather. Well, let's turn back in our prayer books to page 586. Page 586. We're going to get our exercise, continue to get our exercise today here in Sanctuary. This prayer, called Aleinu, the Adoration Prayer, is said before the open ark. The open ark is a symbol of the divine presence in our lives. So let's all stand together once more. We're in the middle of page 586. Please be seated, everybody.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo
Jewish worship is never complete until we think of those people that have been a blessing in our lives and who have passed away. Family members who have died, friends who have passed, members of our community, members of every race and nation who are a blessing to humanity. We think of them now, we honor them through our memory and through our prayer. You can find the list of the folks that we're going to mention on the inside of your Shabbat leaflet on the Kaddish page. This Shabbat we say Kaddish for Dr. Bernard Leisman, Don Walschlager, Ted Baker, Leonard Weiss, Al Rubin, Peter Siragusa, Lenore Horowitz, Leonard Sabbath, E. Francine Marcus, Ilsa Jamin, Arlene Hammer, Dorothy Broomer, Jack Barkley, Ronald Simon, Chase Joseph Newton, Ronald C. Jack, Beryl Sosnick, and Beverly Sutton. And for those who are observing Yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one that's commemorated this week, we remember Lawrence Hirsch, Edward Weiss, Brian Leader, Richard Kaplan, Elmer Bernstein, Namiko Pocock, Beverly Pick, Arthur Rosenberg, and Teresa Beaver. Is there anybody who's mourning a loss whose name was not mentioned? And if so, we invite you to please raise your hand and mention their name now. We now turn to page 598 in our prayer book, page 598, and we all stand together now to say Kaddish for those names that we mentioned. We thank God that they were on this earth as we pray. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaye echon u'vyom echon, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ועלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. May we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen. And please be seated, everybody.
Oh, say shalom, bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. We have many wonderful events coming up at Temple Sinai, which you can read about in the weekly TSG email blast. Today's flowers are presented by Abby's parents in honor of her bat mitzvah. At the conclusion of the service, everyone is invited to join in the Kiddush luncheon hosted by Abby's family. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. Well, Abby, at this time, your religious school classmates would like to make a special presentation to you. So come on up, guys. Jojo Rappaport is going to be presenting on behalf of the class.
Congratulations, you did such a great job today. We are all really proud of you and happy that you're a classmate of ours. Hebrew school wouldn't be the same without you. We'd like to give you this menorah to remind you of this day and the friendships you made here at Temple Sinai.
Thank you, Jojo. Thank you so much. And if you guys will please remain up here and help us. Now, Abby wanted to use her Kiddush cup for the first time today, leading us in Kiddush at this occasion. So I'm going to get some grape juice. I'm going to give one to Cantor. I'm going to try to pour this in your cup without spilling it.
Well done.
Ah, success. Perfect. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. L'chaim.
All right, a good year for grape juice. Oh, it's really good. Okay.
Yes, it was good.
Let's see. Oh, we need a challah. So let me get a challah. See, more Shabbat magic. It appears. All right, who would like to hold the challah underneath? Thank you, Jojo. Who would like to remove the challah cover? Thank God for the food we're all about to enjoy.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. Somebody dig in.
Okay.
Someone's got to break the bread.
You guys want some? Okay. As they're devouring the challah, we're going to, in just a moment, we're going to have our closing song. And then after our closing song, we'd like to invite you to please take your blue prayer books with you as we enter into the social hall directly in the back of the sanctuary. And there'll be somebody there to greet you. I think Kenley's back there. And Frisk and Amos are all there to help. Take your books as you enter the social hall. Our closing song, Cantor.
We are going to sing a very fun version of Adon Olam.
All right.
And the best part of this Adon Olam is all you have to do is repeat. So it makes it good. And I have some great, I don't know if we want to call you backup singers. I would say a great chorus. Of voices. So move up here. You guys can't get the words wrong because I'm going to say them first.
Nice.
There you go.
And we're on page 625, everybody. Page 625.
You ready? Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Behu Haya, Behu Hoved, Behu Yeh V'Tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Look at my cup.
Oh wait, the clear one's actually really cool.
Let's go.
No, what you gotta do is you gotta yours. Look at the whole